Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. Help support my channel. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers pretty much as soon as possible. So then I go live streaming because YouTube policy, they won't let me go live until I have 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to all the folks out there that have subscribed to my YouTube channel. If you have not yet, please take this moment now with helping me. Click subscribe. Next, click the bell. And next, click all. This helps you receive a notification when I post my next videos. Plus, click the thumbs up button and every time you watch my videos. If you got value from this video, if this was helpful, then please consider sharing a small monetary donation to my channel by going below and clicking on either my Patreon or PayPal links. If you join my Patreon page, then you'll get early access to these videos 24 hours before they're posted on the YouTube and lots more. If you prefer just leaving a small tip, clicking on PayPal. Either way, then you get that warm sense of satisfaction years down the line knowing that you helped me become a successful YouTuber. Saturday, March 5th, 1:13 p.m. New York time. Currencies market, also referred to the foreign exchange market. We're trading currencies. There are different exchanges you can trade currencies on. There's an exchange called the Chicago Merchandise Exchange, which is part of the CME group. You can trade currencies in that exchange. That exchange calls currencies or labels them as FX, Foxtrot X-ray. Those are future contracts. That exchange offers different financial instruments in the futures, equity indexes, treasuries, commodities, currencies, like I mentioned, but they call the currencies FX. In the futures market, they show volume on the FX exchange for contracts traded. There's another exchange called the Forex market. That does not show volume. Again, the Forex market is only currencies. It's worldwide currencies. The FX market are just currencies traded against the major pairs. And those FX currencies, they're all pegged to the US dollar. So when those underlying currencies going higher, that has the value of the US dollar getting weaker against that currency. And they all start with the /6 followed by the letter. You'll see those momentarily. There's also the US dollar index, which trades on a different exchange, ICE. US dollar index is major currencies in that index. Okay. So some things to remind people that already know, but might have forgotten or don't know. The US dollar is the reserve currency of the world still. Maybe in the future, there will be more than just one currency. Central banks worldwide, at least in the West, we're not talking about communist nations, socialism. Yeah, we're not talking about communist nations. We're talking about Western nations. The central banks, when a nation central bank raises interest rates, it typically strengthens that nation's currency. There are other things to take into account when a currency gets strengthened. There's also safe haven currencies. Safe haven currencies being the US dollar, the Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. Not simultaneously, not necessarily there's a correlation that all three of those go up together. There are sometimes. Also, commodities, all commodities are priced in US dollar. So typically when a commodity price goes higher, US dollar goes lower. That's a correlation sometimes. There's also a correlation between Japanese yen and gold. Sometimes they correlate and both go together. Central banks worldwide, give an example, current situation in Mother Russia, their central bank, which holds a lot of currencies, such as US dollar and other currencies that they consider value. And other countries do this too for the longest time. Central banks hold reserve currencies of other nations. So that being said, if they start accumulating more currencies, that central bank of any particular nation, they're doing that for more safety reasons. Let me explain a little bit more. When people are unloading the US dollar, they feel confident, they feel secure. they're spending US dollars. Whereas if people are hoarding US dollars, what do you think that means? Yeah. So recently in Russia, people were trying to take out their dollars, and the central bank made their own policy, recently changed policies to, remember, when people were taking out currencies, that bank has to unload it. Well, maybe a bank doesn't want to unload it, the nation, yeah. Some countries, you can't even hold foreign currencies personally on your own. You have to keep them in government regulated banks. I remember that when a country I was in the Middle East years ago did that. Maybe still does. Okay, so that being said, we're going to look at some charts on currencies. We're going to look at the weekly time frame. Each candle will be a week. And we're going to see who's the winners, who's the losers, who's the leadership. Another thing to note, if you don't want to trade currencies in the futures market or in the Forex market, there's also stock ETFs that have currencies. I just posted that a few days ago on my Patreon page, so you can see the stock ETFs that are currencies. You can also trade options on currency in the FX market, as well as options on the cryptocurrency Bitcoin in the FX market. You cannot do that in the Forex market. The Forex market is strictly currency pairs, not options. Also, cryptocurrency exchanges don't offer options. Also, the cryptocurrency exchanges, you cannot trade bearish, aka short currencies, cryptocurrencies. We're in the US futures market. Again, they're contracts, and you can trade bullish and bearish Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies they have on there. Yeah. And the US futures market is much more regulated, better than the Forex market. But you can certainly make money and lose money in any exchange. All right, let's go forward, start looking at charts. Top down, get technical, including candlesticks. US dollar index, all-time high for the year, outstanding. Yeah, if they raise interest rates, expect that to go higher. So huge trading range, above average, higher high, higher low, close green, already labeled the midpoint. Yep, let's zoom out more. So here's the high from 2 years ago, all the way up here. And this was a major consolidation breakdown. So those are potential supply zones. Prices may pause, prices may reverse if they go up there. Be aware of that. Yep. So right now, it's all-time high, strong like bull. Looking here at Bitcoin. Yep. Here's the high for the year. So we're trading below the high for the year. It's bearish. It's underperforming the US dollar. So when I contacted people that say they're the influencers of cryptocurrency Bitcoin, or they're very knowledgeable cryptocurrency Bitcoin, some didn't respond to me past few weeks, and some responded kind of nonsense with the reply saying the Bitcoin is still a better financial instrument than the US dollar. Okay, it's better, but it's lower, trending down against the US dollar. Yep, no reply back from some of them. And again, I asked, how come the crypto exchanges don't let you trade either direction? And some of them said, it's much more fair exchange. The point is, I'm talking nonsense, and I just wanted to get the replies because I don't think they're actually trading or aware of it, and they don't want to take into account other currencies. You don't have to take into account just the dollar. There's other currencies. So again, look at crypto. Here, Bitcoin. Red horizontal line, supply zone, huge sellers. The first month of this year, okay, the first week of this year, it broke below that consolidation area, bearish. Consolidation broke down further, bearish. Yep. We did a retracement, which is all it was a retracement to this big impulse move down, never retested the high and rolled over. This week is a huge bearish pin bar. It's also a stop hunt. Yep. So again, this supply zone is showing plenty of sellers unloading here. Yep. Maybe those people that I contacted are the ones unloading it. But again, they may never tell us, or they might come later on and come back and say, hey, They might come back and say later they sold their cryptocurrency at the high. And then when they sell it and you ask them what they're buying, they might be shady and dishonest and not say what they're buying. Yep. The point is financial instruments for trading. Buy currencies or have any currency you're holding. Holding, is it earning income? Regardless if the value goes up or down, is it earning income? Well, US dollar, you put in savings account, money markets, United States, get very little interest on it. Yep. Well, at least if it goes down, you're still earning something. Cryptocurrencies, if it's parked in their exchanges and the value goes down, you're losing off the bat, but are you earning interest on it? Different financial instruments keeping places, just to let you know. Let's go look at some more currencies now. The currencies in the futures market, like I said, the FX, I call it FX, and there's options that trade on. So in the US dollar, the largest weighted currency in the US dollar is the euro. It makes up 57.6% of the US dollar, at least the last time I looked. So here for the weekly candles, we just hit an all-time low for the year. Yep, took out that low, which was a supply demand zone. Buyers took it out and broke below it. And we tested a midpoint. Let's go back. It's really bad for the euro. Midpoint all the way back from 2 years ago. Tested it. So let's update it. There we go. Another thing is, years ago, there were a lot of people that worked in central banks, politicians worldwide, and supposedly influencers in the financial industries that said the euro was going to replace the US dollar as the reserve currency. It never did. Nope, it never did. They also said other currencies were. Those ones didn't. Yeah. Japanese yen, the second largest US currency in the US dollar index, makes up 13.6%. Again, I mentioned it's a safe haven currency. So again, let's look here at the euro. Your all-time new low for the year has been trending down for weeks. Japanese yen has been in a consolidation phase, touching a demand zone. Buyers have been buying it. Accumulation, institutionals, retail traders seeing it as bullish, buying it. It's also forming a wedge. The wedge is getting tighter. And inside that wedge, building a coil. Building a coil. Coil is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It's going to break out either up or down at some point, which would be the next trend. So we had here these two red candles that are stop hunts and consolidation. So a bunch of people that were unloading the currency, dropping it, getting rid of it, because they were bearish, were wrong. Yeah, wrong. And real fast, a bunch of new buyers, or when they found they were wrong, stepped in and bought it and supported it. Yep. Third largest currency in the US dollar is the British pound. What's another name for the British pound? Let me hear you. Let me hear it. Sterling? Yep. So the British pound makes up 11.9% of the US dollar. It's bearish. All-time new low for the year. Lower low, lower high. And that it's in a demand zone of buyers, but it's already closed inside this demand zone. So the tail on top is much taller, longer. Remember, tails also refer to as what? Some people call them shadows, some people call them wicks. The trend is down, it's bearish. And these percentages I just gave you on the weighted average in the US dollar could change. Maybe they already changed. Hey, well, maybe check to look. Okay, that should be interesting why they're possibly changing. Yeah. Canadian dollar. Yep, there are several currencies call themselves dollars. Yep, Canadian dollar. Green for the week, higher high, higher low, closed back inside that prior candle and tested that swing high. So let's remove that horizontal line. Yep, that green candle there, bullish pin bar. Also, the location of it is a stop hunt. So interesting. Buyer stepped in, came defended it there. Yep. So this is a huge consolidation too. It's in now, huge consolidation. Canadian dollar makes up 9.10% US dollar. Now we're looking at Swiss franc. Swiss franc makes 4.2% US dollar. Swiss franc is also a safe haven currency. That inside candle for the week. Indecision. Indecision. Interesting. Huge trading range, but indecision. Yeah. Why is it indecision? Because they didn't take out the higher low of the prior candle. Indecision. Here is a inside candle too. Indecision that time. And then that next week, traders decided what they wanted to do. They want to unload the currency because in the futures market, for the FX, remember when I say the futures market, if I say FX, one and the same thing. In the futures market, they call currency the FX. And all currencies in the futures market start with /6 in the letter, the one letter representing the currency. So the future FX market, when the currency is going down, that's weaker, which is giving strength to the US dollar. Yeah, impulse move down. So again, hands on buyers there. And look at this one, top left, /6A. Aussie, the Australian dollar, also calls the dollar. Took out the swing high here, that yellow horizontal line. That's bullish, outstanding. We finally found one currency strong against the US dollar. So this is gaining strength against the US dollar. Huge impulse move up, broke above the consolidation. Yep. This huge candle has a name. Yep, it has a name. People refer to that. Yep. I'm not going to name that. I'm not going to come out here on the YouTube and call what some people call that because it's a body part of the humans on the middle side. Yeah. Anyway, it closed green, higher high, higher low, took out that consolidation. Currencies, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, heavily commodity-based nations pegged to the currency. Yep. So there's a reason their currency is going up because commodities are going higher. Let's go look at this, but zoom into each one so you can identify what's in consolidation phase, what's trending bearish, what's trending bullish. So here, top left, euro identified as trending bearish. Japanese yen, consolidation. British pound, bearish. So top three currencies. Two are in Europe, well, you don't have to call UK Europe, but it's close enough to be part of Europe. And the yen, Japanese yen in Asia. Well, no surprise, you have the euro and the pound trending down. Yep. The actions going to Europe, unstability, certainly are putting fear on those currencies for people unloading them, and things could get a lot worse there. Where Japanese yen, again, safe haven currency here, it's an acceleration. So again, the Canadian dollar, well, it didn't take out that low week, so again, it's more bullish bias there. The Swiss franc, part of Europe, indecision, and the Australian dollar up strong by being okay. So again, Australian dollar, the strongest currency here in the FX market against the US dollar. Also made a new high for the year. Yep. Now let's look at the underlying currencies. These underlying currencies now are in the Forex market. How do you know you're in the Forex market? The Forex market has 6 letters. The first 3 represent the stronger currency, the major currency, followed by / by the currency pair. What that means is the first 3 letters here, EUR, represent the euro, / USD represents dollar. So here, whatever the first 3 letters are, if the currency is going up in strength, that represents the strength of the euro. First here is declining. So that means the dollar is getting strength. Yeah. We already spoke about this in the FX market. Let's go to the next. So now we're looking at the euro yen. Again, prices go higher in here. That strengthened the euro. If prices are declining here, because the second pair against is the yen. So as prices decline here, that means the euro is getting weak, yen is getting stronger. Look at this. Huge impulse move down for the week. Lower low, lower high, close red. All-time new low for the year. That means the euro is super weak against the Japanese yen. No surprise, I already showed you in the FX market, the yen is stronger than the euro, stronger than the pound. Yep, no surprise, huge one. We took out that swing low there. Let's remove that. We also took out the swing low from there. Let's remove that. A lot of fear. Oops. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So now we're just shy of taking out the lows or testing the lows of last year. Yep, Japanese yen strong. The euro, British pound, both struggling. You saw that in the FX market against US dollar. So here, look at that. Lower low, lower high, all-time new low for the year. That means the euro is all-time new low against the pound. Yep, so the euro is performing worse than the pound. Euro, Canadian dollar, all-time new low, 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 high. Again, Canadian dollar gaining strength against the euro. Euro, Swiss franc, yep, huge move down, all-time new low for the year. Swiss franc again, said it's a safe haven currency. So you notice Swiss franc, the symbols are Charlie, Hotel, Foxtrot. But in the futures market, remember I told you all currencies start with the /6, and if the futures market is just that one letter. Go back and look at my video, see what letter that is, so you know. The euro, Australian dollar, yeah, huge move down. Red, lower high, lower low, took out that swing low. So all-time new low for the year. All-time new low. Let's zoom out. Also took out the low last year. Wow. No surprise. I already showed you in the FX market how strong the Aussie dollar was. So a huge move. So overall, looking here at the euro against these other major currencies, we're not including the Russian ruble. It's less support. So the euro is extremely bearish against all these major currencies. When I say major currencies, because these currencies have the best liquidity, not necessarily the tightest spread. Spread is a difference between the bid and ask, but the best liquidities, such as my time when I spent a lot in Egypt many, many years ago, many trips there, several trips there. Predominantly, most people rather accept my British pounds than the US dollar. This was before the EU, before the euro. Yeah, back in the day, when the markets were in fractions instead of decimals. Yeah, because it was more stable. And again, there was other reasons. Let's go on forward. Let's go on to the next. Now let's look at the second largest currency, US dollar, the Japanese yen. We already spoke about the US dollar, yen. We already did the euro, Japanese yen. So let's do the yen and the pound. Yep. Again, the first three letters are the pound. So that means that's the major pair currency here. So that means, again, the prices go higher. That gives strength to the pound. Prices go lower here. That's the weaker in the yen. I mean, that's the strength to the yen. So here, red for the week, lower high, lower low, new low for the year, took out that swing low. So that means these prices are declining, the pound's getting weaker, and the yen getting stronger. Outstanding. So we're, again, all-time new low for the year. And look at that. We tested midpoint of this huge candle. What did we do? See this big tail, tail on the bottom? Bunch of buyers stepped in there. Not a surprise. Technical settings. Yep, outstanding. That worked very well. So let's update this. Huge tail on the top. It broke below this consolidation. So we'll see what happens there. And I'll have to do some more charting on this on multiple time frames because there might be potential day trades here or even short-term swing trades. Yep. Good technical. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, notice first three letters CAD, another name for Canadian dollar, CAD, followed by a yen. So red for the week, made a higher high, higher low, closed red back inside the prior candle. Yep, so huge consolidation here. That prior one took out that swing point. So we move that, there we go. So it's just a huge consolidation here. But again, if this continues going higher, consolidation, breakout consolidation, that gives strength to the Canadian dollar. And the Swiss franc, Japanese yen, two safe haven currencies paired together. Wow. Green for the week, higher high, higher low, closed green above the prior body. So took out this consolidation. Let's update that. Nope. Let's go back one. Oops. What was I thinking? There we go. So this gray area, this consolidation, This week we went above it, but closed back inside of it. So tempted to continue momentum to the upside, but it didn't continue. It just tested higher highs and went back inside. But the good thing is, yeah, made a higher high, higher low than the prior week. We closed body green above the prior body. It's good. And we also closed almost, let's just say midpoint. So that's neutral. Yeah, we didn't close above midpoint, at below, just neutral. See what happens. But again, two safe haven currencies fighting here. Again, as this went higher, that was giving more strength to the Swiss franc, which is interesting because, again, totally different economic status, the Switzerland versus Japanese yen. So many different things there. Aussie, Japanese yen. Huge impulse move up, all-time new high for the year. Again, first three letters, Aussie dollar, all-time new high, strength. So it's giving strength for the Aussie against Japanese yen. Took out that swing high, which was the prior high of the year. Strong like bull. Yep, here's that high from last year. Again, I showed you multiple things again to be aware of. Let's go to the last pairs. The British pound. Already spoke about the pound US dollar, the pound yen, pound euro. So let's look at the pound Canadian dollar. Oof. Took out that swing low, all-time new low for the year. Lower high, lower low, red. So again, this declining price giving strength to the Canadian dollar. Interesting. So we got the Canadian dollar gaining strength against the pound, and the Australian dollar gaining strength against the British pound. Queen Mother, oof, she's losing value. I wonder if those countries, be it New Zealand, Canada, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, if Queen Mother calls them up and says she needs her troops to defend her nation, if they're still participate. Yep. British pound, Swiss franc, new low for the year. Took out that swing low. Get safe haven currency. Yep. Swiss franc gaining strength against the British pound. British pound, Australian dollar. Yeah. This huge trading range. Yep. These are great products, some are for day trading. The most popular for day trading are currencies that are paired with the British pound. So one of the real popular ones is British pound, US dollar, also the Japanese yen, good for day trading. Also the British pound, Australian dollar. Yeah. So if you're day trading currencies, look for ones that are paired with British pound, the major currencies. Yep. There's good swing trades for some of these because I mentioned them last week. Quite a few of them. Or sorry, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.